Perched on the rocks and nestled into the trees that line Long Lake in Nanaimo, author Susan Juby makes her short commute from home to work. She's a writer, a good one.
Alice, I think. This is the first edition of the first book.
And did you know that it was going to be a 3-part series?
I didn't even know it was going to be a novel, so it was very surprising to me.
Alice, I Think, has been published around the world and became a hit TV series on CTV and the Comedy Network. The Woefield Poultry Collective is set in Cedar, and besides garnering Susan an onslaught of chicken-themed gifts, was nominated for a Stephen Leacock Medal for Humor. It was her first novel published specifically for adults. She's known mostly for writing for youth. HarperCollins is releasing the sequel, The Republic of Dirt, in January of next year.
I love Cedar and Yellow Point. They're so cool. They have such a great mix of people and that rural thing, and then the new suburbs, and just the mix of groups that hang around in Cedar are fascinating to me.
In March of next year, Penguin Canada and Viking US will release Susan's 10th novel, The Truth Commission, a comedy for young readers that has a darker underbelly than her previous books. It's funny, for sure, using the power of comedy to get at truth.
It's also the topic of the book is truth, and how we live with truth, whose truth we get to tell, when it's good to tell the truth, when it's a real problem to tell the truth, what happens if you ask somebody the truth and they tell you, what does it do to your relationships? Those are really complicated questions, and so to engage with those in a serious way meant I had to get darker in some parts of the book.
Susan teaches in the Department of Creative Writing and Journalism at VIU and has recently been appointed by the Royal Society of Canada to the newly formed College of New Scholars, Artists and Scientists.
For us at VIU, typically with respect to the Royal Society, there tends to be a focus on the bigger universities, the big research institutions. So the fact that VIU has a successful nomination, I think indicates that there's a willingness to look beyond the bigger schools and a desire to incorporate more regional thinkers.
It's very exciting. So I'm not sure that I know exactly what the process is going to be. I'm going to go to the induction ceremony in Quebec City and learn about, what we can contribute to the discussion of higher education in Canada. There's a huge amount of change happening for universities right now, and it's a privilege to be part of that discussion.
Susan is very intelligent, and she has I think a creative turn of mind. And I think this College of New Scholars is attempting to broaden the reach of scholarship and bring people into the circle who can think in creative, perhaps unique ways. And Susan certainly brings that. If you've read any of her books, she's very clever, very funny, and I think has great insight into human nature.
And it's not by accident. Susan says she reads a lot of psychology books to get into the human psyche and how our minds work. She's most social, she says, with the characters she carries in her imagination. Are all your friends coming up to you going, is that me? Is this me in here?
Well, there's a certain level
I know I'm Sheila.
That's right. There's a certain, and sometimes people get it so incredibly wrong. They say, well, obviously that is, Bob, and you say, what? Yeah, no, it's funny.
Her first attempt at crime fiction, Getting the Girl, was nominated for an Edgar Award by the Mystery Writers of America, and her books have even been banned. Miss Smithers was banned in Texas for foul language and, as she says, acknowledging that sex exists. Another Kind of Cowboy, published in 2004, was banned from certain libraries in Alberta for having a young gay central character. And all of this is created here in a treetop writing studio on Long Lake. In Nanaimo, I'm Kate Bergen.